All right, CT. So I'm just gonna have you actually introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, everybody. My name is CT. I work at Home Tattoo Studio. I've been working with the studio since we opened in 2015. I guess I'm kind of the co-founder, and I guess I manage this location here in Vaughan.
So how did CT get started? How does your career get started as a tattoo artist?
Oof, I mean, that's a deep question because it's a long story. First of all, I just wanted to do art since I was young. I came to Canada in 2004. I wanted to be an engineer at first because my dad is an engineer.
Okay.
But during high school, I didn't do too well in physics and other in chemistry. I did really well in biology, but I realized that maybe it wasn't for me very early in my years, like when I was 16. But I also realized that art was more accessible here in Canada. It's like art class, photography class, things like
Okay.
that. So I had always been drawing my whole life. So I decided to maybe if I could take that and then do something with it, I'll have like a more easy career instead of struggling as somebody who's not really good at math or physics in engineering.
So were you ever into like any other form of art, or strictly just like drawing, and then that led into tattooing?
Yeah, I was mostly drawing and then graphic art. I started painting a little bit too, but I didn't get to paint too much back then because I just mostly drawing. But later when I went to college, I managed to go to Sheridan College.
Okay.
That's where I took visual and creative arts.
Nice.
I started painting more, drawing more, and I met somebody who was already a tattoo artist. So I started asking him a lot of questions and find out what's the world of tattooing like, what can I do to get in there? Because I had no clue. Back in the day, this was 2011. There was no Instagram. There was no too many people in YouTube telling you how to tattoo properly. There was not too much information out there. All the information I could ever get was from buying magazines at Chapters or whatever tattoo magazine I could get my hands on, and I'll just study that.
So the internet was like not accessible for you guys to capitalize on.
It just there wasn't information because tattooing is like a plumbing or like electrician is like a skill-based job. You want to learn from somebody who already knows. The skin holds a lot of secrets, same with the machine, and also your hand. So it's like a trifecta of things that you need to put together to be able to tattoo properly.
Okay.
And it takes a long time to learn that. You need somebody to guide you, else you're gonna make a lot of mistakes on people's skin.
Oh.
I mean, it's like cutting hair, but it's said that the hair grows back,
Yeah,
right?
and then the opposite.
Yeah, the skin does not grow back. Mistakes stay forever. It's very nerve-wracking at the beginning.
So what are the most like common like tattooing mistakes that you see people do?
Oh boy, very easily spelling mistakes.
Spelling mistakes?
Yeah,
No way, really?
either because the artist didn't type it properly in the computer when they were doing it, or the reference given by the customer was not correct. Especially if it's like a different language and
Oh my god.
none of the parties speak the language, so it's bound to be some sort of mistake. Another mistake that's pretty common is like filling in black certain areas you're not supposed to be filling in black, like in a compass, when a checkboard type design.
Okay.
It happens. It happens a lot. It happened to me a couple of times too.
To you?
Of course.
Like you did it, or like it
Oh,
happened
yeah.
on you?
No. I did the mistake, of course.
Wait, so what's wrong with filling in too much black for
Oh,
the checkered one?
I just put in
No way, really?
the wrong color in the wrong place. So it's supposed to be white, but I put black in it.
Did the person realize or no?
A couple of the mistakes I've done, of course, I have to tell them, let them know, say, hey, something happened here. So you gotta be honest with your client as much as you can, even though it's embarrassing, because you're doing your job and all of a sudden you like did not do what you were supposed to do. Your one job.
So let's say like with all the knowledge that you have as a tattoo artist right now, right? If you were to go back to the very beginning of when you started, what piece of advice would you tell yourself in
Oh,
order to like advance the furthest?
to be honest, is a really good question because there was a point in my career, maybe when I was doing 2.5 years, maybe 3 years, where I wasn't doing very well. I was doing like a lot of mistakes. I was also sometimes I do something right, sometimes I do something wrong, but I wouldn't know why. And my master will always ask me, what happened? Why did you do this wrong? And I always say, I don't know. I don't know. So eventually he kicked me out of the shop.
Really?
Yeah, because he said, how do you not know? If you don't know, then who knows? You're the person who did the tattoo, right? So, I got kicked out so I could think about my decisions and everything that I've done so far. And I realized that I have to pay more attention to what I'm doing, regardless of what it is. I was just tattooing, I guess, just like a wild gun. So then I started paying attention more to what I was doing, seeing what worked, see what didn't work, and start to like think more about theory, the way the needle hits the skin, the way the skin holds the ink, and the way the skin reacts in general, depending on how you treat it, right? Trying to not overwork it or underwork it, trying to find that right spot. So if I was to tell something to myself, I would be that, just pay attention to what you're doing and like think about it, not just do things for doing them.
So what's the most scary thing as a beginning tattoo artist? Like what's something that's like super like you found super scary when you were beginning?
Oh, Roman numerals.
Roman numerals? Wait,
Yes.
why?
Because Roman numerals is very technical tattoo. It's a lot of straight lines. And for example, you get the I, X, X, M, M, something like that. So it's three letters that are supposed to look the same exactly. So if one of those I's or one of those X don't look the same as the other two X's, it's already not a good tattoo. So it's a lot of pressure trying to make everything same, exactly perfect. We still make mistakes, doesn't have to be perfect, but like as accurate as possible. The spacing, the size, the thickness, the height. So Roman numerals, that's what had me kicked out. Yeah, I had a little bit trauma about that before, but now I can do everything. A lot of experience, a lot of practice, a lot of studying.
Are there a lot of moments like for you like when you've done something and the client is like super upset, like maybe when you're beginning and stuff, or does that not happen to you?
No, of course it happens. Yes, I have done that kind of mistake as well when I was younger. I did. I remember I was doing some an evil eye, which is like the blue and white and black in the center, and I kind of overworked the white on the skin, trying to put the white color in the skin, and then I overworked it so much that when it healed, it turned pink.
Pink?
Yeah, it mixed with the blood. Yeah,
wait, it like permanently mixes?
yeah. I mean, I overworked it that bad,
Okay.
so that was really really bad. What else? Yeah, I mean, I have done things. Even I have done things where the customer gave me the picture and I did it exactly the same, and then they didn't like it. At that point, that wasn't my fault. That was just like I don't know what they were expecting, because somehow they had different expectations. I don't know what they're expecting, to be honest, but that has happened too.
Let's say you're a client, right?
Yeah.
You're looking to get your first tattoo, right? How does someone choose the artist to go with? Like, what are like good pointers?
Obviously, always check that the artist has clean work. Like, look at the line work, make sure there's no blowouts. Obviously, nowadays with Instagram and things like that, it's easy to look at somebody's portfolio, right? Search the shop they work at, and then make sure that their type of work matches with what you're looking to get. Because sometimes people just think somebody's good enough, and then they want to get something like realism or something out of their range just because they thought they might be able to do it. And some artists will take it just because maybe it's their chance to try something new, or maybe they need the money, and that's not good sometimes because if they fail, then the customer just got messed up. Yeah, or they didn't get the quality that they should be getting, as opposed to going to somebody who specializes on that specific style.
So as a tattoo artist, like I'm sure a lot of tattoo artists are like perfectionists, right? So how do you decide when a tattoo's like finished? Like, okay, it's done, this is done.
I mean, myself, because I make the designs and I draw them myself. Uh, Here's the thing, it's just because on the skin, it's not like paper where you can do a lot of details and go crazy forever, you know. And the skin doesn't hold that, it cannot hold that much detail or information. It also depends on the spacing. So whenever I design something, I design it already with the beginning and end plan in mind. Obviously, the finished work has to be something that flows very well with the body, looks good on the customer, has good spacing and definition. You know, that's pretty much what makes a good tattoo, because over time, the lines are going to start expanding over in the skin. So if you don't have good spacing, it's going to blow up together in the future.
So how does someone like choose and know if like tattooing is the right like industry for them?
Oh boy. Nowadays, it's hard to answer that question because this industry is so oversaturated with people. So I try to tell people, you know, just get a different job. There's already too many tattoo artists in this world.
Oh really?
Yeah, but if you really, 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 really want to become a tattoo artist, you really need to want it, because it's a lot of hustling. It's very similar to what you do. You have to hustle a lot, find your own clients, make a name for yourself, make sure that you always have good quality work. You know what I'm saying? Because the quality speaks for you, right? So it's a lot of work, and in the beginning it's really hard because nobody trusts you. You know, especially with your body. So if you went to a tattoo shop and you want to get a tattoo, and then they give you an artist and they tell you, oh, this artist only been tattooing for 1 week, 2 weeks, of course you're not gonna get the tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So something like that is very difficult at the beginning. You have to hustle a lot, do a lot of free work or a lot of practice too, right? So it's this kind of job is for people who are very passionate and hard workers, I say. Have obviously a little bit of talent. You don't have to have a lot of talent at the beginning because you can develop that, but at least some sort of sense of art. If that's you, then sure, go ahead and try it. But it's a lot of hard work and a lot of sweat and tears, I would say.
So out of like all the tattoos you have, I don't know how many you have, but if you were to only keep like one of them, which one would you keep?
Oh no, keep one of them.
And you have to get rid of all the rest.
I have a lot of cool ones. That's the problem.
You have to choose one, man.
Maybe the sleeve on my
The entire sleeve?
well, because it's like I designed it as one.
Yeah.
I got it when I was 19 too. It's also the sleeve that got me into tattooing.
Okay.
Yeah, it also has a lot of meaning because of that as well, and I designed it myself too. I had it, yeah, I had this sleeve. I had it in high school. I was the most tattooed person in my high school. I had already a sleeve on me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and then this design, when I went to the tattoo artist, he's the one who put the idea of tattooing in my head, because I showed him the picture, and then he asked me, "How did you get this picture for your sleeve?" And I told him I designed it myself. So that day he was like, "Oh, you want to learn how to tattoo?"
Really?
He offered me, yeah. But at the time I was just young. I was 18, so I didn't have enough skills. So I didn't believe I have enough skills for drawing. So I just tell him I'll go to college and learn more art, and then I'll come back in the future. So yeah, pretty much that was the first contact with tattooing.
Tattooing. Okay.
Yes. I knew I wanted to be an artist, do something with art related, maybe an art teacher, but I didn't know tattooing until that day. I didn't know if I should try it or not.
So, would you say you were like always gifted at art?
No, I wouldn't say gifted. I say I was just like everybody else, maybe like you, anybody around here too, or anybody watching. Just because I started with stick figures. I started
Really?
stick figures. I doing like a flip book on my notebooks in Colombia.
Yeah.
I like do like frame by frame and then flip it and do like a little story.
Okay.
And then I started doing kind of comics, like a story based. I really wanted to do like comic art or something like that, like concept work. That's what I was thinking before. But I always drew like that when I was younger, and I just kept drawing and never stopped. That's the only difference, brother. I just kept practicing and practicing. Tried to make my stick figures a little bit better, so that then they have a little body, like a little bit thicker, and then slowly trying to learn more And it was all practice. And then, like I said, when I came to Canada and I saw that art was more accessible, I,
Give that.
I decided to study a little bit more. Obviously, my dad was not too happy with that at first. We took him a while to accept, but I did it anyways. I pretty much went against my family. I went against, a lot of things.
What advice do you have to people whose parents like don't support their careers?
Oof, it is hard. I mean, like I said, if you really, really want it, do it. It's a lot of hard work, especially if your family is not going to support you, you're going to have to make it yourself. Like back in the day when I was doing this, I was going to college. I was also working a full-time job, and I was learning how to tattoo. So I didn't have any time for myself. If I want to hang out with my friends, it would be like maybe at 2 in the morning sometimes, hang out for like an hour, and then that's it. Go to sleep so I can go to work the next day or school. If you had to sacrifice something, you know what I'm saying? So either you sacrifice sleep, you sacrifice your social life, or you sacrifice learning. So I needed to learn, so I couldn't sacrifice that, and I needed to sleep, so I couldn't sacrifice that either. So pretty much my social life is, yeah. I try to hang out with my friends here. There, obviously, I still have my close ones, the guys who understood and always been around. But yeah, and even till this day, it's still like that. It's a lot of hustling. It's not just because I've been tattooing a long time that I got it made. The industry is always changing. The economy is always changing, and that affects us as well too, right?
So, if you were to give like one reason, like, why would you say your tattooing like style is different from others? Or
That's
why should someone choose you over others?
well, that's something that I'm trying to work on. Differentiate my work from other people as well. Because what I do Neo-Asian style.
Okay.
I learned from my master, and I learned from studying as well. This Asian style work, Japanese, sleeves, bodysuits, back pieces. I do stand out a little bit because when I do color, I like to choose like very new school colors, the shapes too that I use. I try to make things a little bit more extreme. It's always, every day is changing, every day I'm getting better, I would say. But yes, I'm still trying to do what you're saying, try to make myself apart from other people. I would say, you know what, it's hard for me to say that because I don't know why other people choose me over others. You have to ask if anything, maybe my customer service. I try to be really friendly with the customer. I speak with the customer, let them understand how everything works, how I approach the designs, and I always listen to what they have. And then they give me some reference, right? They tell me I want it to look like this, like that, and I always tell them, okay, I'll take your reference, but if you like my work, then it's gonna be similar like this. Don't expect me to do exactly like what you show me in the picture. And then yeah, most people or everybody actually, all my customers are fine with that. I guess there is something in my art that stands out to people, but I wouldn't be able to tell you myself what it is, But I tell you that I try every day to make this separation, which is good for this kind of job. That's what you want to do. Else, everybody's been doing the same tattoo, the same lion, the same tiger, the same dove, the same praying hands. It happens.
So during the client experience, like, do you talk to the clients when you're giving them a tattoo?
Very little, especially the first session, which is the outline, is very critical for me because the outline is the foundation of the tattoo. So it's like if it was a house, will be the skeleton of the house. If the line work is not good, then doesn't matter how good my shading is and this and that, it's still not gonna look perfect. So also since it's line work, any movement, any distraction can change everything.
So you don't talk.
So I try at the beginning, I greet the customer, I sit them down and make them comfortable.
Do you ever tell them to like, shut up?
Sometimes.
Really?
Sometimes I didn't tell them shut up, but I tell them, some people do like to talk, and I talk to them a little bit here and there. But then at some point I just tell them, hey, you know what? If I don't answer, it's just because I'm focusing here. Don't take it the wrong way. Or sometimes I tell them, hey, unfortunately, I really need to focus. We can talk later, maybe during a break, or when I get to a part that is less stressing. It's a stressing job, brother. I only have one chance. I only have one chance, so I'm not gonna waste it talking to the client. Then later was for the second session and things like that. When I start shading, then it's a little bit easier for me to be more friendly with the client. Like I don't have to be so critical. Like there's more forgiveness per se, you know. So I need to be as much as focused as possible. Also because it's a long, I do bigger work, so it's a long session.
How long are the sessions, man?
5 hours or longer or 7. So if I start talking at the beginning, it's gonna drain me. You know, by the time I get to the end, I'm gonna be all drained. Because I have to focus a lot too, right? I have to think a lot when I'm doing the work. So by the end, I'm gonna be tired and drained, and the customer's gonna be tired too. You know, because they've been on pain for like 4 or 5 hours. And if you're talking, you kind of slow down a little bit. So you notice, it happened to me, you notice that the customer is like already getting tired. It's like, okay, like let's finish this. But like at the same time, it's like, yo, you were talking to me the whole time. So, like, so that's why, no, it happened to me a couple of times. So I noticed that, you know what? Because people are very friendly at the beginning. But then, like I said, when they get to the 5th, 6 hours, and then they just want to go home, they're not friendly anymore.
Really?
Yeah, of
They
course.
start getting hostile type of thing?
Some people, or some that just, you know, you're hungry, you're in pain, you want to go home.
Can they eat food when you're
Of
giving
course, yeah.
tattoo?
We take a break. I try to take a break every 2 hours or so when I'm tattooing. And then I tell my customer, okay, we're going to take a half an hour break. You go eat whatever you want. I'll be back.
Okay, yeah. So tell me like the worst like pain story that one of your clients went through. Like you saw it on their face. Like,
Oh, buddy,
funniest.
for sure. I have, I mean,
Do you remember?
I have a couple, for sure. I had people, it's funny because a lot of people pass out during the tattoo, but I have seen people pass out before the tattoo even starts. You know, like maybe they were too nervous.
Oh, really?
Because I understand if you're getting the tattoo and then you pass out from the pain or because you're nervous and the pain.
Is that common? Like,
It's not that common, but it does happen because some people are, it depends on the person, you know, some people are more nervous than others. Or some people didn't eat before the appointment or didn't rest well. So it's a lot of stress on their body and their mind. So they start getting pale and then they pass out.
is that like what happens to a lot of people? Or like, no?
I would say it happens to me like at least once a year.
Okay.
It depends on the customer. If it's like a new customer, like somebody who hasn't gotten tattooed too much or ever, then it can happen. It's more likely to happen. If it's somebody who has multiple tattoos, they already know what they're getting into. But that's why we tell everybody, always eat and rest well the night before you get tattooed, because you need that energy for your body to
Feel.
yes, exactly, so you can withstand the session, especially if it's a long session. So yeah, one time I remember there was 2 girls, they came in to get tattooed, and literally she's just signing the waiver in the front.
No way.
And then she just boom.
No way, really?
Yeah, just fell and it smacked her face against the coffee table. Not the coffee table, the front desk table.
Did everyone see it?
Of course, everybody saw it. I mean, it was in the front of the
there.
studio. Yeah, man, it was so bad. And then another one, it was similar story. It was 2 girls. She already signed the waiver. Artist is getting ready, and she's sitting with her friend by the coffee table, and they're just talking. And literally, as she's talking, she just falls to the side, passes out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, this girl must have been super nervous because not even started tattooing, and she's already on the floor.
Oh my god. So, for like people who haven't gotten a tattoo before, right?
Yeah.
How would you describe like the pain to them?
Oh,
does it feel?
it obviously depends on your tolerance. I have a pretty high pain tolerance myself, so I have no problem getting tattoos most of the time. It does feel like cat scratches. It depends on the style you're getting. If it's like more fine line or things like
Fine
that.
line worse? Or?
I would say just because the finer the line, the more like a knife it feels.
Knife?
Yeah, more sharp.
Okay.
Because the needle, the configuration is more tight. A bigger needle, it still feels, it still feels like somebody's ripping you apart. But
Have you ever like topped out of a tattoo like yourself? Not topped out, but like you know, like at least kind of.
kind of, but at the same time I couldn't tap out because it was the last session on one of my rib tattoos. So I just have to hold on there until they finish. But I
Were you
remember,
close?
I was like, I knew I had to finish because I'm a tattoo artist too. So and it was almost done. I couldn't. I'm not gonna stop the tattoo artist to come another day, but I was in a lot of.
So,
Yeah, I was very tired. It was a long session. It's on my ribs too. It was the last session too, so she had to put the white.
oh yeah.
And then doing that, because you have to go over places they already been tattooing the whole day, so it's like all inflamed and damaged, right? So when they touch you there again, it's just like holy moly! It's like
Really?
your skeleton is just shaking. Yeah, you can feel your skeleton shaking inside. I'll tell you that much. But for most people, smaller tattoos, medium tattoos is fine. You know what I'm saying? It's just when it gets to the big tattoos that take multiple sessions, multiple hours.
Does the pain like wear off or no?
Eh,
Like over the time? Or
Something
no?
like that. At the beginning, you still get your endorphins kicking, your adrenaline kicks in, so you're able to handle pain better. You know,
Really?
that's why it's important to eat and sleep well, so you can handle the pain better. But it only lasts. You know, your endorphins only going to last for a couple hours. So that's why usually 4 hours is the threshold for most people.
Okay.
By then, your adrenaline is running out, your stamina is running out, your mental is running out. So 4 or 5 hours, that's when people are like, okay, I'm ready to go home.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they like ever give you what are the signs like for someone who's like trying to like go home?
Oh,
Like
when they ask you if we're almost done, if they ask you we're almost done, it's only been like an hour or two.
do they always ask like constantly
No,
like numerous times like
no. Some
they're
people,
always
like I said, my clients, I already walked them through the process, so they know it's gonna be a long day. But for other people, I noticed that too. So yeah, mostly like it's been like an hour or two, and they ask you, like, "Are we almost done?" Is that means this person is in pain.
you start laughing at them. You ever
It's,
start laughing at
sometimes we laugh together. Yeah, we laugh together. I try to be respectful because, like I said, everybody has different pain tolerances and different sensations and sensibility on the skin. So it's like I can laugh at somebody for they might be not great at getting tattoos, but they might be good at something else I'm not, right? So,
okay.
but sometimes like we do laugh together, or I kind of. It depends how funny they say it. Sometimes they say funny things, so I kind of hold it.
Like what
No, it's hard to explain, or like sometimes yeah, it'd be like, oh, this is hurting like more than I thought, or things like that.
that's funny man. When's the last time you got a tattoo?
A year ago, I believe, maybe no, 2 year and a half, which is the one on my neck. My friend did it.
How often does a tattoo artist
Sit
get a
up.
tattoo?
How often? I mean, if I could, I would get it as much as possible. But I like to plan. I like to get bigger work, so I like to plan them pretty well, and it takes long time too. So it depends. Also, it depends how crazy you are. I have friends that get tattoos like every week.
Every week?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Are those like the people that have like their skin covered in tattoos?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Sometimes you have so many tattoos, you get tattoos on your tattoos.
Really?
Yeah.
So, which tattoo artist right now that you know has the coolest tattoos?
A tattoo artist that I know has the coolest tattoos.
Yeah, except for you.
That is a good question.
It could even be like not someone you know, but someone you've seen on the internet.
No, I don't know. I don't know people in the internet. People that I know, my coworker Anthony has a pretty cool sleeve. He got in Poland from a Poland artist,
Okay.
from a Polish artist. Who else would I say? Who else? Yeah, I don't know, because I like bigger work.
You don't like small work?
Not as much, unless it's like yeah. I like the big compositions and things like that. So that's why whenever I see somebody with a big tattoo, I enjoy it more than a smaller one. I feel the smaller tattoos are more like fun, more like for the moment, and bigger ones are like just to decorate your body in like one big piece. But like I said, everything depends on the taste of the person, right? Like somebody might be the opposite from me. Somebody likes smaller tattoos. They don't want that bigger ones, and maybe they think bigger ones take too much space or it's too much.
So what do you What's considered a bigger tattoo, like in a tattoo artist book?
A big tattoo
Yeah, like what's considered
is at least 12 inches or bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, at least 12 inches or bigger for sure.
Are all your tattoos 12 inches or
Most of them
most of
or
them?
bigger, yeah. Most of them are like they take a pretty good, like each one takes a pretty good piece of my body.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm almost out of space. That's why I'm trying to plan.
Okay, okay.
Like I would like to get my back piece.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get my back done, like all the way from my neck all the way down to my ankles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't have much on my back or anything. I have a couple of tattoos that wrap around, like on my ribs and my legs, but like nothing like a whole piece.
So what goes behind a tattoo artist finding their tattoo for themselves? Like, what are some of the reasons you got in some of your tattoos? I know the first one, but
Obviously, first is the style that you want to get. I personally like Asian style, Neo-Asian style,
yeah.
because it's also what I specialize in. So I like to learn a little bit more, and I like to have like a bodysuit, like a Japanese bodysuit. So I'm aiming for that.
Okay.
So I always look for artists that do that style. I worked with some of them before, so some of them did some of my work on me. But I also like black work illustration, which is what is in my neck. My friend Sita Perk did it.
Okay.
So I really like her work too, so I got some too. I thought it looked really nice on my neck.
So besides the Asian style, what's your second favorite?
Yeah, like I said, black work illustration.
work?
Yes, I do like. But I think yeah, most artists also get tattoo with friends or you trade tattoos. Like I do tattoo on you, you do one on me.
Do you always get like first try or?
Nowadays, yeah, I mean, I always cut the stems all the way I was taught, and then the way I learn. I know a lot of little tricks here and there to make sure it fits properly in the place it's supposed to be going. So at this point, I use all my knowledge and my learning, and I do my job.
So if you were to tattoo one famous person, celebrity, or whatever, someone you idolize, who would you tattoo? What's one style of tattoo that like you don't really get why people like it that much?
Oh, don't ask me that question.
Wait,
People
why?
are gonna get upset.
Wait, really? What?
I mean, I kind of get it nowadays. Before, a long time ago, when I first saw this style, it's called ignorant style.
Okay, what's that look like? I'll pop it up on the screen. Right
It sounds exactly. It is exactly what it sounds like. Ignorant style is tattoos that people do on purpose that don't look good, like bad tattoos on purpose.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes the imagery is just like a bunch of lines. It's like very abstract sometimes.
Really?
There's different levels. I've seen different levels. I think they call it cyber. There's another style called cyber tribal or something like that.
Okay, and it's like the same.
It's very similar. It's not done traditionally. It's just like very like some lines here and there. Sometimes it feels like they didn't approach the scheme properly. Sometimes it's just, but at the same time, I think I understand why people get this kind of style. Maybe because it's not perfect. Nothing is meant to be perfect in theory. So maybe that's what I think why these people get it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it looked kind of fun. But a lot of the ignorant style tattoos that I've seen, especially the super, super bad ones, are just like, why did you just do that? Especially if somebody gets something like big piece, it's like such a random
Really?
thing on your body. And like, what did you get? Yeah, when you look it up, you will see. It's just like, why? And there's different levels. There's like, there's a acceptable level and there's a level where like, you like ask yourself,
Why?
yeah, why? It's like, why would you do this? Why somebody would do this to another person?
Have you ever regretted any of your tattoos?
No, surprisingly, I do not.
Is that common? Like when people get tattoos, if like for them to regret it or no?
For sure, of course, because it could be something that you got at a certain stage of your life that it maybe meant something then, but now it doesn't. Or maybe you're over it. Maybe when you got it, the artist made it too dark, and you didn't want it that dark.
Yeah.
That could be reasons why people would regret a tattoo. Or like I said, maybe they meant something, now it doesn't mean anything to them anymore. I think all my tattoos, like I choose pretty carefully, and then even the ones that I have done for fun, with my friends just randomly, it's still pretty cool in my opinion.
Do you think every person who gets a tattoo should have like those fun tattoos, or like just ones that actually like mean something?
No, you mean you can do whatever you want. If you want to get a fun tattoo, you can get a fun tattoo. Your temple, your body, your temple. There you go.
So what do you what would be your excuse to someone whose parents don't like them getting tattoos? Like they're completely against it. What advice do you tell that person?
Hide them well.
Hide them well.
Yeah.
It's funny, man.
My dad didn't like tattoos. I got my first tattoo on my chest so I could hide it with a shirt. You know, every time I'll wear a shirt when I come out of the bathroom
Really?
and things like that. And actually, one day I was working in this restaurant, Mexican restaurant. They called in because they needed somebody to come in. I guess somebody didn't show up, and I was in the shower. And just when I was coming out of the shower, my dad busted into the bathroom. He's like, "Oh, they're calling you for work."
No way.
And yeah, I didn't even put the towel up. And then he saw my chest and he's like, "Oh, what is that?" I was like, "Oh, it's one of those fake ones. It's the sticker ones that you put on."
No way.
And they said, "Oh, okay, they're calling you for work." And then he was turning around, and all of a sudden he stopped, and then he turned back, and he's like, "Wait a minute, you just came out of the shower. Why is it still there?"
Oh
And I was
my
like, "Fuck."
God.
Yeah, my dad's not dumb.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Okay, get out of here. You know, you gotta go to work." He was pissed, but then nothing happened. You know, it's already in your skin, so. I guess my dad was pretty strict, but I mean, not as strict enough to kick me out of the house for something like that. But I know some parents are. Depends on the religious belief as well, or how badly your parents are against tattoos. I know people who are like 40 years old that just started getting tattoos now because
Their parents.
yeah, because their parents, because now they finally left home or their parents died or something like that. But I mean, you gotta be respectful sometimes to who you live with and the hand that feeds you. So I understand. That's why I didn't even get no hand tattoos or anything yet. I still have that respect for my parents in a way.
Because your parents don't like.
I guess, well, my mom doesn't care. My dad's the one. But my dad gave up already at this point.
Yeah, bro. I mean, why would he? So your mom's like fine about it.
Yeah, my mom's always been cool with it. She's like, do whatever you want. Do follow your dreams. Just do what you gotta do as long as you work hard for it.
So, in the next 5 years, what do you see for yourself?
Oh boy, that's a hard question. Just because, like I said, the industry is full of people nowadays. It's super saturated. I know I'm gonna be doing the same thing I'm doing now, and I've been doing every day since I started learning how to tattoo. Just hustle really hard, work on my designs, try to get out there, and like you said, separate myself from other people as much as I can. And always great customer service. That's always what most of the things, besides quality, right? That's another thing that makes people come back.
What separates good tattoo artists from like great tattoo artists? That's a great question.
I mean, just like in the real world, you know what I'm saying? It's like there could be like anybody who's really good. Obviously, art skill, is if you know how to tattoo really well and draw really well, you're gonna make some crazy compositions. But just like in the real world, just because somebody's really good at something and great at what they do doesn't mean they're a good person. They could be a dick. That's why sometimes they tell you don't meet your heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Your heroes could be, it could be cool in your eyes, but the second you meet them, it could be just like a really mean person. So I mean, a great tattoo artist for me is somebody who is humble, has great work, and is open to share with other people and things like that.
So, what's the most important factor that you think is needed for someone to be like quote unquote successful?
Hustle.
Yeah.
You need to hustle, bro. You cannot sit down and wait for people to come and get tattoo from you. And even if you think you're good, even if you tattoo in 20 years, even just hustle. Like I said, drawing, advertise yourself, get yourself out there. Do as much as you can to be on top of the game. And it's like nowadays, there's so many people, so many artists. A lot of people, like I said, doing the same shit. Maybe you want stand out, right? So you need to hustle a lot, make designs. People don't know what they want until they see it. That's why most people who get tattoos, it's always they take a picture from Pinterest or Google. They don't have original ideas. Very few people have original ideas. And sometimes, like I said, they don't know what they want until they see it. So that's why if you always draw, make some designs, make some compositions, eventually somebody will see it and be like, that's what I was looking for. Then they'll reach out to you. So that's why I always do it. It's been working for me since the beginning of time. I don't see why it should not.
So what area on the body do you like see and you're like, man, I don't get why people get
Oh,
tattoos there."
easy. Armpits.
Armpits?
Yeah. Oh,
They get armpit tattoos?
yeah, see, even you don't get it.
Wait, what? Really, that's crazy.
Oh, there's a lot of places, buddy. There's a lot of places. Every place that you think you wouldn't tattoo, that's on the list. If you in the comments, you guys can tell us what places you wouldn't tattoo.
Do you tattoo mostly girls or guys?
Nowadays, mostly guys. Before it was pretty balanced.
Why do you think it changed?
Oh, it's because the style that I do is like a little bit more aggressive, I would say. I still tattoo a lot of girls, but I'm just saying the majority of my customers are male, just because it's like bigger work. It's like kind of powerful.
Yeah, not many girls are gonna get.
Yeah, I do flowers and things like that as well. But most girls nowadays they like to get the fine line tattoos and things like that. If you ask any fine line tattooer who's their most customer, they'll say girls.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
We are basically done, but before you head off, I have one more final question for you. So for this question, just answer it with the best of your abilities. So for anyone out there who's trying to be successful in their life and do something really big, whether it's tattooing, going to play professional basketball or whatever, what is the best piece of advice you can give them?
For sure, man. It's the same thing, like you said, for everything else, just hard work and hustling. If you see the person beside you working hard, you have to work harder than them. If they're not sleeping, then you have to not sleep. If they're not eating, then you have to not eat. It's just work and work and work until, you know, it depends on your abilities too. Some people have talent, so it's easier for them to reach their goal. Me, I don't have talent. Everything is just, like I said, work and work and learning. So I had to fight against those people, and I still do, you know. So as much as you can, you know, work hard to reach your goal, you know, to stay on the target.
Awesome, man. You heard it here first, guys. If you're trying to chase your dreams, make sure you listen to CT's advice. I thought that was like really amazing. If you guys want to see more episodes like this, make sure you click the subscribe button down below and check it out. We got a lot more guests coming on this soon.